Uh-oh.
Go
Oh,
Ravens,
no.
baby. Go Ravens. Forget
Go
the
Eagles.
Bills.
Eagles. Big game.
Fly, Eagles, fly. We're not fighting. We're
Not
together on
not
that.
this
Where's
week.
yours? Where's yours?
I was going to bring it down, but I
But what? But what? What a weak fan you are. Let me talk to me. I know what a fan is. I'm old. Fan means fanatic. And I love the Ravens. Go Ravens.
oh,
That's going to be
fly
Lamar and
Eagles
Josh
fly.
Allen. Oh, oh,
Yeah, this is
oh.
a big game. Big game.
And then you're starting today. When's the Eagles game starting?
3 o'clock.
In
Three
like an
o'clock.
hour or two?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's gonna be a lot of snow, right?
It's this flurries just started.
Oh, wow, baby. Right
This
on.
is
Here
it.
it comes. Eat up, get a lot of food,
I
rocking and
know. Right after
rolling. What am
this,
I
I'm going to
doing here?
Corporalise and get some food.
Oh, go there. Well, we got our food already. We're ready for action.
Hey,
Got my little air
Spartacus.
fryer. I'm gonna do a couple wings, do my thing, and hope I don't choke on the bones. That's how I'm looking at it. Spartacus, look. I know today is Dictator
Uh,
Day 1 to you, but hang in.
yeah,
We love the Vikings. We back the Vikings all the way for you,
we
Spartacus.
did. Yeah.
We got to hear from you on the Ravens and the Eagles. I'm sorry. I feel bad for the Vikes. I even did a post for the Vikes, but we got to hear from you on the Ravens. Or either you better not be bad. Find interesting is that Trump is already look. I want him to do well. He's our president. I want it to work out. Okay. But he's already doing the Trump jive. Okay. Comes in, he's going to take care of inflation overnight. Now he can't take care of inflation overnight. He said it's too hard. He said he was going to make a deal in Ukraine and end it in 24 hours, right? Well, 24 hours is down the road. I don't see a Ukraine deal happening. He said he doesn't think he can do it. Now,
But he solved the Middle
Gaza.
East.
Gaza. He wants 100% credit on Gaza. It doesn't work. Biden's been banging on Gaza. I give Trump and Biden credit. They work together. Good guy, bad guy. What's wrong with that? It worked beautifully. Biden's guys were saying to Hamas, look, we made you, got a good offer. Now you got Trump coming in. You're looking for trouble. And
Yeah.
the Trump and Biden people played off each other. I think they did a great job together. And why one thinks he's got more credit than the other is BS. It just worked.
Yeah.
I say right on. So and I understand 3 hostages have been released and we're waiting for the American hostages next. So that's good. So it worked. Thumbs up to us, please. We love thumbs up. So it worked and it's starting. So I like that. But what happened to Ukraine? What happened to inflation? Bye-bye. Ain't happening. Gone. He can't do it. I give up. He's bringing in, he's going to go to China or bring Xi Jinping in. Good, but what does that mean he's going to do? He tried to do it with the young un over in North Korea. Nothing happened there, but I hope it works. What are you about to say?
He's going to fix TikTok on day 1, and he's going to fix the Middle East in day 1. That's what he's saying.
You're right, but the thing, look, he's got to get some credit with the Middle East. Yeah, the Abraham Accords, but credit goes all the way back to Jimmy Carter when he did the Camp David Accords, and it went all the way through. It's just different presidents, different people working it. They all get credit for it, okay?
Yeah.
But we've only gotten 3 hostages so far, and there's so many people who died. Just got to hope there's no more. Yet in Lebanon, the ceasefire seems to be holding, and the Houthis want to hang back. If you remember, if I want to note this, if I can, I said for years, the end of the American century. I said for years the breakup. It's all over. Just an American citizen. Dr. V will tell you, please go and look at it. I'm talking years of videos up there. I'm wrong at times. I'm upfront with it, but if you look at it, this is exactly what I said was going to happen. We've broken off. You've got the big 4 over there. Now everybody's accepted in Iran, China, North Korea, and Russia, and then they're just playing their games. And then we're going to try to make deals. And who did I say if we're going to make a deal with? We make a deal with China. I mean, Trump's at least looking at the right guy. You can't make a deal with Russia because he'll just die. Food will just kill you. Ball game over. It doesn't
Right.
matter. Bad connection, buffering. I think you okay? You okay?
Better
Okay.
now.
Okay, good. So, excuse me. So we're rolling with that. And you sit there and you go, wow. So I want to see what Trump's going to do. I mean, I tell you this. It's so cold he can't stay outside. I mean, I,
Bernie
I
Sanders can lend him his mittens.
maybe he could do that. We'll be out shoveling. You think he's going to be shoveling? We're going to be shoveling. It's going to be cold. We'll be walking. Look, it's going to be freezing cold out there. But there have been they showed there have been many other inaugurations that have been colder. I mean, don't tell me you're doing it for the people. You're doing it for yourself. It's like when he didn't go to Vietnam and he had the bone spurs, and the bone spurs went to his brain. And he kept getting deferred because the bone spurs
So
never
how's he going to
disappeared.
have a bigger audience than at Obama's inauguration now?
Let me tell you
They're all
something.
going to fit inside the rotunda?
He's going to get them all in there, and it's going to be that big.
It'll
It's
be
going to be
bigger
that
than
big.
Obama's inauguration.
It's going to be that big. How do we get rid of TKK? Stop, will you? That doesn't do anything for us. I have to find a way to get rid of that guy. Somebody will tell us and get rid of him. I don't know what to do with
I
guys like
just
that.
blocked him.
You did good. Thanks. Yeah, good. I mean, it's kind of BS. And he's still coming up. How do you block him? I don't know.
I just hit his name and his block came up. So maybe he's
Is
just
that-
blocked for me. I don't see him
Oh,
anymore.
here we go. Here we go. I report. Is he still up there?
I don't see him anymore.
Good. Okay. Good. I hit remove message. I said message, get rid of it.
Yeah.
So, come on. You got a point. You got a point. And we'll get to TikTok. But let's roll over to TikTok. People, here he goes again. You want to go? I'm going to report you, TKK. Please stop. The bottom line is, let's small as
Tiny
hands.
hands.
Not hard. They don't take up most of the book. But I mean, remember, here's the guy who's so tough. He's this, and it's freezing cold. He can't go out. We were in France. They went out and they went to a graveyard to see dead American troops in World War II. And all he did was run in because it was raining out. Okay, he couldn't stop it. It was raining out, so he couldn't get his hair. He couldn't get his hair wet. It was just horrible. So it's just good. Now you won't see TKK anymore, right? You see TKK?
We got to get Spartacus to
Right, he's gone. I banned you, TKK. Goodbye, you're banned. So I'm sorry. So Trump was unwilling to do that. He doesn't want to do other things. So we'll see. He's a tough guy, but he's tough when it's inside and it's warm, and he's tough when his generals are around him and all that. But once again, don't get me wrong. I want him to do well. I want it to work out. I really think he and Biden did a good job here so far in Gaza. It's going to be all his afterwards, but that's what it's going to be. So, but I just don't see it. He says he can no longer handle inflation. He can't handle anything. He can't. It's all going to be tougher. He can't do it. And then how about the mass deportation? Supposedly there was going to be this big deportation in Chicago, and now they're mad that somebody put out some type of notice. Look, if you're going to take out the criminals, let them take the criminals from the jails. If they're illegal people who do not belong here and they break the law in America or in get them out of here. Why is anybody fighting out here? Sanctuary city? What are you, a sanctuary for a criminal or somebody who's charged with that who doesn't belong here? No way, okay? You should let ICE come in and deal with it. Absent that, though, remember I said to you, what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a picture one day of a young kid sitting there reaching up as his parents are being yanked away, and he's going, "Mom, Dad, what am I going to do?" And the head of ICE is going to say, "You got to go with them, even though you're an American citizen." So we're going to have that because that's going to be the next big fight. Are they American citizens?
There you go.
The 14th Amendment, yelling and screaming about all that. Are these kids American citizens? Of course they are. Read it. It's called English. English. Read it, the amendment. They're obviously American citizens. They go and they do all that kind of stuff. So
Says he's going to change that.
I don't know how you do it without an amendment. Okay, and it's not that easy to do an amendment. I mean, Joe Biden just said the ERA passed, right?
Yeah.
And he said, voila, he changed it without an amendment, like Trump can. Look, there are some limits out there. You can only go so far. Let's get to TikTok. Everybody's bummed about it. I don't understand what everybody's bummed about, Dr. V. Look, there are a zillion platforms, but number two, a lot of people are on TikTok.
Yeah.
A lot of people make money on TikTok. I got no problem with that. I'm there, okay? And if you want to give all your info to China, you gave it to them. These people are going to red dot and everything. But if China's going to use your info against us,
yes,
it shouldn't be up. So the idea wasn't they didn't block TikTok. They didn't shut it. Guillermo, I haven't seen you in a while. Miss you, Guillermo. So to TikTok, it wasn't a blackout at TikTok. What it was they had to sell it so that TikTok's information they get could not be turned over to the Chinese government because that's the rules in China, the mainland. You got to turn over your information. That's all it is. People have to understand it. You're making it something that it really isn't. What do you say, Dr. V?
No, I agree. I mean, TikTok and social media in general needs to be looked at. I believe it's not doing good things for our kids in the country, and I think it spreads a lot of misinformation, that sort of thing. But with respect to TikTok, you just don't want China having access to all that information. I mean, China would not let an American country into their country collecting this kind of information. So you know that they're aware of and possibly using this information for bad results. So it really should be an American company, and that we have some control over it.
Right. So I'm this, but once again, it's not a ban. And it's TikTok that shut down, though Trump now said he's going to make a deal. But this is after years of the House and Senate, Republicans and Democrats coming together, these national security
Everybody was
looking at this. They all said the same thing. Nobody's arguing. It's not, I don't think it's a First Amendment issue. I think it's like, hey, it's gonna Trump talk. That's interesting. I think what's gonna end up happening. You see Elon Musk buying it and he merges it to X. Just think how perfect
the guy
that
from
would be.
Shark Tank is going to buy it.
Yeah, he's got the money. So Mr. Wonderful. So he's smart, he's rich, but you got to have a lot of money to buy this.
20 billion.
Yeah, more than that probably. So you look at that. So they're not shutting TikTok down, but people have to understand. And I don't understand why these people. I mean, I know you're young, you're rebellious, but why you want to go into red note or red dot and say, "I swear to the Communist Party's rules"? And why would you want to do it? The Communist Party wouldn't let you come on here and do it, but you're doing it, and it makes no sense. Why would you want to do something like that? Are you communists? And the funny thing is a lot of these people who are on TikTok who love Trump accuse everybody else of being communists, right? But now they're going to red note or red dot and they're swearing allegiance to the communist country. So it's kind of a little bit of the hypocritical. Do people understand hypocrisy? I don't think so. But I just think that's Paul, what's going on. I just think so. I don't use Timu. We'll stand. It's not that way, Sterling. It's not a First Amendment issue. So you have this going on. I want to note we got the Cisco kid back there in Poncho. I keep my cowboy shows on. I love it. Hey, Cisco, hey, Poncho. The first colorized regular show on TV. The first 1950. It was 50 to 55. You see him, that Cisco? Cisco was an illegal alien. Did you know that the Cisco kid was an illegal, literally was an illegal alien, and FDR had to make him a citizen and because he snuck in with fake passports and stuff. The Cisco kid. The good guy who did it all. I love the Cisco kid. And they got such great music. And Pancho, he's just his dad and say that he's just great in English. He was very heavily involved in California. And his family were the Mexican elite in California many, many years ago. I just love history. So I give you that stuff back there to look at if you get tired of it. I love that stuff. Tom Cotton. So that's where we are there. And so I'm rocking with it. I'm just waiting. So why do you don't do that instead of mass deportation? I don't understand. You're going to have to tell me what's going on. But Monday, it's going to be crazy. He's going to sign everything. He's going to sign everything, and we're going to see what's real and what isn't, and what the courts do and what the courts don't do.
Right. Yeah,
And you got to what?
I think he's going to try to make some sort of dramatic gesture,
Well, he's
but
already made that deal with TikTok. He says he's going to make a deal as soon
yeah,
as he gets in, like he's going to reduce inflation, like he's going to end Ukraine. He's just ended it. Look, this is the best part. Fox and all of them are walking around with their chests out. And let me tell you, this is all part of this cultural shift you're going to start seeing. Let me throw this out. This is what's so much fun. Let's talk about what the future is going to bring us,
there you
okay?
go.
Cultural kind of stuff. You're going to start seeing country music all over ads. You're going to start seeing people doing hay rides. You're going to start seeing people dancing with the hats. You're starting to see a couple already. You're going to
Roseanne
see
Barr
more
making a comeback.
but it's going to be you're just going to start seeing it. It's going to be like more. You're going to the twangy. It's not going to be rock. It's not going to be when it's just going to be more. I don't think you're going to see. You know how every ad now is a black and a white person and
Yeah,
who's a family. Almost every, which is cool. If it sells stuff, I say right on. You know how I feel about it. You make money, right on. If it sells, it sells. That's going to start slowing down. You're going to start seeing just these changes in ads. Watch commercials. I love commercials. And commercials in a couple, so I love them. So the commercials are, they tell you what's going on out there because these companies are trying to sell to people. So you see they're putting all these monies to commercials and they're going, we think these commercials are going to make you buy our stuff. So start watching the changes there. And assuming RFK Jr. gets in, and you know how I feel about him. A broken clock is right twice a day, but he's has a big thing about advertising drugs. Now I'm going to let Dr. V. I see the head starting to shake a bit, a little bit of a smile coming on. I don't disagree with RFK Jr.
right.
on this one. These guys come on, they put all this stuff out there. You have to run to your doctor and say, I need this drug. Everybody's so happy. Look at them on TV. It works. It works. I'm fucked up with the people in the ads. It's working. Get me those. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have forgot. Whoop. That's not me talking. That's a third party.
That's a
Quoting
quote
a
from
third
somebody
party.
else.
Okay. But that's what they're thinking. That's what they're thinking, right? And I want this drug. Am I wrong, Dr. V? And it's the emotion. Look at these people. You're feeling better. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's happy. You want this drug. Go and see your doctor and just forcing these prices up. I think we got great drug companies. We got the greatest in the world. The technology's outrageously tremendous, but this doesn't make sense. What do you have to say?
It's
As
a
a doctor,
complicated
as a doctor,
issue. So it's a complicated issue.
well,
But
make it easy. Make it
I'll make it
easy.
easy. So number one, we have the best pharmaceutical companies in the United States. We make the best medicines, and it's very expensive for them to develop new medicines. So when they get something approved, they make a lot of money on those medicines.
I love Diet
Absolutely
Coke
true.
UMO.
Yeah, that's absolutely a true fact. But it's also the case that most of our health is related to behavioral things that we have some measure of
Can't
control
agree
over
any
that
of
don't
that.
need a medicine to fix. Exercise is important. Eating healthy is important. Staying away from too much alcohol, cigarettes. And those are the things that are not really being addressed by the medical community. And I agree with RFK in that point that those things need to also be
Garbage.
highlighted as important to turn things around. And so we need the medicines for sure. They're great, but we also need to change our behavior. And it sort of gets to the fundamental point that there's a sense among a lot of people these days to not have to take responsibility for things, not to have an agency over things, to have some big uh, dictator tell them what they should do. They're acting like sheep. That they don't want to think for themselves. They don't want to take responsibility for their lives. They'll take a pill to lower cholesterol. Those medicines are great, but they won't do anything to help with exercise or stop smoking. It doesn't make sense to smoke cigarettes, but then take a pill to lower your cholesterol. they counter each other. So you need to take responsibility. You need to change your behavior. And I think there's a trend. There's a trend
Dad,
for people
tell
to
him,
take
Spartacus.
to do that sort of thing, particularly among younger people. And I think RFK may be helping to stimulate that trend, and that would be great. Now, the one thing I would say about RFK though is he needs to make sure his recommendations are evidence based.
Look,
So
he's not confirmed yet. Hang in. Don't assume. I
uh,
mean, I think all confirmations are going through, but he hasn't even had his hearings yet. So it's going to be interesting to see, Dr. V. So when we get that far, I'm with you on that. But I just think I'm talking like culture that's going to change. I think him jumping up and down about this issue about drug ads gets people's attention
yeah, yeah,
because then you get the middle and you get the people in the middle who are making all the money, of course,
yes,
backing it up or whatever. But I think he is going to have that kind of influence, whether he's confirmed or not. I think he's having because some of that stuff makes perfect sense. Of course, better food makes perfect sense, but if you don't live in the right part of town, you ain't getting better food, and it's a whole lot more money. So you got to deal with that kind of stuff. But I agree with you. Look, I'm nervous about him being in there. All these stories, the governor of who was it? The governor of Hawaii, who said he went into well, where was it? One island and told people not to use a what was it? Smallpox vaccine, and all the kids got wiped out because so many kids got sick because of it. I mean, all that kind of stuff. It's just not good. He shoots first and asks questions. Never even asks questions. He shoots first and figures it works out from there. So you go, but I like some of this. I just think it's going to be crazy. But I just think you're going to see all this on TV. You're going to see different. Watch the medical ads. They're going to change. Watch them. They're going to change. I'm going to say it again. It's not going to be so jingly jangly. There's going to be other stuff because when you watch those medical ads, what you shouldn't do is watch the ads. You should read the little type at the bottom, the
the
little
fine
white type
print,
at the bottom.
all the
I
fine print.
always do that. And when you watch the car deals, hey, you can get a lease on a car, $50 a month, and this, and then you read at the bottom, you can come up with 10 grand, and it's like 100,000 a year or something. So you always have to read the small print and go, that's more fun. And then I always love always hearing, and here is our drug A. And then one of the things are, if you're allergic to drug A, don't take it. And I sit there and I look at the TV and I go, why are you telling me if I'm allergic to something, I shouldn't take it? Why would I take it if I'm allergic to it? It's just some of the dumbest stuff I've ever heard, but it's going to work out. And then
The
wake up.
thing to be worried about a little bit is that if he has control over
I
NIH,
love Diet Coke.
if
What?
he yeah, if he has
I
control
love
over
Diet Coke.
NIH,
You know that. Tell him. Caffeine free Diet Coke. I go to his house, they always have Diet Coke for you.
yeah, I know
Right on,
I love
baby.
Diet Coke too. I'm a big
I'm a
Diet
Diet
Coke fan.
Coke guy. I'm a Diet Coke. Go ahead.
But
We've made it this far.
you have to watch that he redirects spending at NIH toward his pet projects as
He
opposed to
hasn't been confirmed yet.
okay, all right, all right. I'm anticipating when he gets confirmed.
I mean, you're also assuming that he can be that detail oriented. You're talking
Yeah,
a
you're right.
gigantic group of a whole. He's got all these guys under him, and they're all going to want to do this and that and this and that, and you're going to have doctors and people, and it's just going to be a lot of politics. I think he can only go so far. We'll see.
Spartacus.
Thank you, Spartacus. We love you. Thank you. Please give us thumbs up. Say it, Dr. V. Give us
Give
thumbs
us
up.
thumbs up.
We don't care if you don't agree with us. We don't thank you, Spark. We tried. We just lay it out straight. It's going to be getting more fun after Monday. We're just laying it out here, baby. That's
Absolutely.
that's the Harry.
That's
We'll see, Harry. It's going to be tough to see. And all these people, they thought they weren't going to get confirmed. If Trump wants them confirmed, they're confirmed. Harry, thank you for subscribing.
there he is.
Um, if they want him confirmed, he's going to be confirmed. He's
He'll
going to
be
be confirmed. It's just that simple. If
yeah.
Trump wants him, he's got him. But it's going to be interesting to see. And I'll tell you this, I'm more than glad to take RFK Jr. on a push-up contest.
There you
And
go.
I'm the same age as RFK Jr. to show you that it doesn't matter. If an old goof like me, I'll take him on. I'm more than glad to meet RFK doing chest, doing any type of chest section. He goes on there on TV and he does his press, his chest press. I'll meet him head on with that. I have no problem. So understand, just because RFK Jr. could do it, I mean, if you got a big trust fund, you can live good, you can do a whole bunch of things. And he makes money. And I kind of think he's an okay guy. He seems to be like the type of guy you could party with. Am I wrong, Dr. V? I mean,
He
he
looks like he's
seems
partied in his day for sure. He's
he looks
partied in
like
his
he
day.
still parties this day. I mean, he's the type of guy I figure, even though I wouldn't agree with him, hey, Jim, good morning. I could party with him, okay? I said that about George Bush Jr. I could party with him. He looked like a party machine. Still one that was a horrible president, but he looked like a party machine. So you got that going on. So RK Jr. So I'm not on him. I just think it's just too much shooting. Shoot, aim, shoot. What is it? Shoot, aim, fire. Or shoot, fire, aim. Something like that. Instead of just really going in and saying, hey, we have an issue. They're showing with fluoride. There may be some issues, but it's all a matter of how much is in there. So you got to look at it and see where's it good, where's it bad, instead of saying this is great food cures everything. Medicine doesn't do this. I mean, there should be stuff. I mean, I'll tell you, when I was a kid, that was a long time ago, Dr. V. I don't know if you remember this when JFK was president. The real John F. Kennedy,
the uncle.
When I was in elementary school, he was really pushing hard on being in shape, physical fitness. It was massive. And there was this record. It was my first record I got. It's a 45. I still have it, called Chicken Fat. The front was the short version. The back was the longer version with Robert Preston at it. Give that chicken fat back to the chicken and don't feed chicken again. And they have us in there doing all these. What am I, like 8? We were doing these dances. We're doing it, and everybody was to get in shape.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. It's nothing new for RFK Jr. to say or anybody else. It's been a part of the American culture, and we should. But it's just tough because nobody believes anybody, nobody believes anything, and nobody wants to believe anything but themselves and what they see in the mirror. The only thing I believe when I see in the mirror is this mug. And let me tell you something, Dr. V. This ain't a mug you want to look at every day. I've had to do it 71 years,
wrong.
Dr. V. I'm still shaking.
You are
Sometimes
wrong.
I've got to get the mirror on my medicine cabinet replaced at least once a year because it cracks. It just kind of goes and we're kind of stuck. And okay, that's a little side stuff. You could use that against me. You're going to have the MAGA ads. Oh, yeah, something else we got to look at here. And I've been talking about this. I'm coming right back. And I want everybody to remember this. Fannie Mae's going private.
No.
Freddie Mac is going private. They are working behind the scenes. They're talking about all this money coming together. Housing, forget it. You think we'll have 30-year mortgages if Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac go private? No way, Jose. No way, Jose. They'll say, yeah, we'll do it. And it'll slowly start because it'll be corporate. And suddenly you won't be able to get a 30-year mortgage anymore. And that 30-year mortgage, they won't be able to adjust, or they won't be able to call, or they'll be able to call or do. And all because it'll be the money people, like the ones that have the all the properties right now that you see, they're bummed. They're bummed. They're not buying anymore, the rich people, because the numbers, I'm talking about the big, not the rich people, I mean the big pension funds, the big funds that are the BlackRocks of the world. I'm using that generically, like Kleenex. It's just, as a generic BlackRock for all the big boys out there who invest in this and buy this stuff. They're not buying because they say it's too much money. Yeah, right. So they're hanging back. And then when they see that opening, they're going to jump in like snakes just going after your leg. It'll just be crazy. And they're going to own more of it. And they're moaning. They're going, I can't rent all this stuff for my high rents any longer. I'm hearing them. Ooh, isn't that a bummer? Then sell some of these houses and let some of these people buy houses from you. Don't make as big a profit and let people make them an offer. Say, hey, buy it from me. I'll help you with the mortgages. That's we got to start doing stuff. I'm telling you, with housing, you watch this, everybody. How long have I been talking about this, Dr. V? Dr. V just shakes his head. Every time I go Fannie and Freddie, just goes like this. He goes, I got to talk to him. And he's having problems again. Then we schedule a 1 hour conference and he straightens me out. And then I come out and go, it doesn't work. Bottom line is Fannie and Freddie going private. This is not a little thing. This is major. And you got to watch out for this in the papers. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, it's going to kind of just happen. It's going to be on CNBC. The rich guys are going to have all their money and it's going to be boom. And they're going to be going goodbye and goodbye to the whole mortgage market. It's going to be a corporate mortgage market. No longer a mortgage market for Americans. No longer a mortgage market for Americans to be able to buy a house. It's hard enough now. You want the corporations dictating what the mortgage rates are going to be? You want the corporations running the whole back office of all this going on? Right now, so many people are tenants. They love it. Why do I say it all the time, Dr. V? Because they want to put them out. It's easy to put people out. It's great being a landlord. Who wants to be a lender? You're stuck. So they look at this and they go, oh, and you talk about getting a house. Dr. V always talks about you need a house to build equity. You can't do it when the big boys come in and go, hey, you're building 20 houses over there? I'll take 19 of them. I'll let you sell one to somebody. Go ahead.
It's all part of a larger plan or whatever to
William,
have
I'm not Mike. I'm not
increased wealth,
Mike.
increased power in the hands of fewer and fewer people. And that's
Right.
what's happening in many areas. And that's the thing I'm most concerned about. And I worry that Trump may not really address that. He presents himself as a populist, that he's for the people. But if you look at what he does, he's helping the people who already have power, already have money, amass more and more of it. And that's the thing I want to keep an eye on during his administration. Is he really going to be helping the middle class? Is he really going to try and make life better for people that have supported him, through his first term and now in his second term? They're putting their faith and confidence in this guy.
Well, they
I think
did.
they're going to be disappointed, but I could be wrong.
I hope you're wrong, but I'm just saying, taking what you're saying and smacking it onto what I got. Those smash burgers, smash it down, even though I don't eat red meat. You have this, no, I'm not vegan. You know, the smash burgers and you push it down. You just sit here. That's all part of the Fannie Mae Freddie Mac thing. He's going to do
Yeah,
this because understand if it goes private, his boys get rich because they've been buying the stock for $3 and $2.
right.
And then when it goes private, it's going to suddenly be $50. And his boys are going to be loaded. They own all this stuff. They've been hanging on to it for years. Regular people can't hang on to this because it was a loser. And then he comes in, this goes through, and who's going to care? And this is what everybody's going to say, oh, don't worry, we're going to take care of the mortgage market. We need thumbs up. We care about the people here. We care about
Exactly.
America.
Right.
We love America. That's what we talk. And you may think we're right wing, left wing, whatever. We're not. We're Americans. I'm just an American citizen. This man is one of the American citizens. And all I can tell you is we're on it. And that's, you got to listen to this. And we're hitting stuff because we've been in the business. We've seen this stuff for years and we would pull some of this stuff out. We're just trying to show you that this is out there. You don't hear Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And if you do, you go, Mac, what is it? It's mac and cheese. No, it's our whole mortgage market. And wait till they get a hold of FHA, the Federal Housing Administration, which is already a mess. Oh man, go ahead. They're
Yeah,
gonna
I was
stick
gonna
that
say,
on it.
but I mean, you
That's gonna
see
be
this
added.
trend in many other areas, even in the social media. That who's going to own TikTok? It's going to be some
Carl, I hope you're right. I don't
some
think so.
entity that's already rich, that already has control, and they get that information out to you to help teach you what they want to teach you. And so, as power becomes increasingly massed among fewer people, we're going to lose our ability to make smart decisions, our sense of agency, our ability to control things. And the country was founded on this idea of freedom, that we didn't have a king, we didn't have somebody telling us what to do. But people seem to be leaning toward that right now. They seem to be accepting it. And I'm not sure
Okay,
if
well, what do you mean
accepting it.
seem? What do you mean seem? They hired the guy, William. I don't charge for autographs either. Does Dr. V? They've seen he won. Look, it wasn't a mandate, but he won, and people, you can just see how people are out there.
But
So
he
he did it.
won
Since
because he promised He
It doesn't
promised
matter
he
why.
promised a lot of people that he's going to be their savior. He's going to
Okay.
protect you. He's going to take
Okay.
care of you. But
Okay.
they see him as a benevolent dictator kind of figure.
Nothing benevolent about him, but go
But
ahead.
when you see him get sworn in, look at the other people who are on the dais with him, who are next to him. They're all billionaires.
But we know
Who
that.
do you think he's going to really support when push comes
And
to
I'm
shove?
not arguing. I agree with you. That's part of the game. That's what I'm saying. You have to look at a Fannie and Freddie Mac. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac is the perfect
That you're right. Yeah,
example
I agree with you. I
because I'm
agree with you.
trying to do this. I'm trying to take your ideas and elucidate and shine a light. This is the perfect example where he can say, "Oh, I'm going to make the mortgage market better. You can't get a house now. Mortgages are 7 and whatever. I've got the answer. I'm going to take Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, privatize them, and all these guys who have all this money are going to suddenly flow it in. Mortgage rates are going to drop, and you're going to be able to buy houses." That's going to be the BS you're going to hear, Dr. V. And that's what I'm trying to talk to people about here, so people start understanding. It's exactly what you're. So who's going to make the money? It's the guys who are buying Fannie Mae stock now for $4 or $3, who have been buying it and been stockpiling it, and they don't care. They got so much money they can hang on to it. Oh, I love the Cisco kid. They just stockpile it and put it in, and they're going. And who's going to get the houses? They'll end up with the houses. They buy most of the houses, not most. They buy chunks of the houses now. It's vicious. They're just taking it over more and more and more and more. And when I'm telling you, no 30-year loans, people don't realize how important a 30-year loan is. It can't adjust. It means you can get in, put your money in, you can bet your budget for 30 years. You can bet on a future. You can go forward. These guys are going to go 30 years. I can't offset this and buy a bond to offset that. I can't do that. I'll give you a 20-year loan. That's how you're going to start hearing this stuff while they're pocketing all this cash. And remember something else. I'm so worked up over this. I'm so worked up over this. And remember something else. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac pump billions into our budget. We got such a budget. Big. It gets bigger and bigger. Not from Fannie and Freddie. Fannie and Freddie pump cash in. Why do we want to take that cash out? What sense does that make, where we're going to have these corporate guys make their money and they'll pay into it and they'll pick up? I don't have much hair left. I got to pull it out. Go ahead, Dr. V. I'm worked up again.
Yeah,
Do you have an hour for me after this is over, Dr. V? I need an appointment badly. Go ahead.
yeah. We're all
And give
concerned
us a
because
thumbs up, please. Thumbs up. We
I
love them.
I talked to a friend who's a Trump supporter the other day, and he's all excited
I
because
like you, William.
he bought Trump coin, and he
I
paid like
saw that.
$26 for it, and he was all excited because it went up to $45. Okay, so he thinks he's going to be rich by doing this, and I explained it. The coin is not based on anything. There's no inherent value to it. And what happens in these situations
Freedom.
is that there's somebody who's sort of manipulating the price, and the price will go up. A lot of good people who are not rich will put their money into something like this. And then at a certain point, the people who have control will then start pulling their money out. The stock will crash. And who gets hurt? Not the rich guy, not the guy who has the power, but the people who invested their money into this thing, the
I ain't
general.
worried about stocks. Look, I love you, Dr. V.
It's not just
Dr. V,
it's a whole metaphor for things that people are investing into something, and
metaphor.
they're just helping out the people who have the power, the few people who have control, and they're the ones who are getting fleeced. They're not thinking. They're just putting their faith in someone who
But,
makes a good story, but is doesn't have their interest at heart.
but of course, but that's not the stock. That's not what's going on here. I love you. It is what's going on, but it isn't. I'm
Right.
strictly focused on housing. I'm not a stockbroker. I can't talk stock. If I'm talking Fannie and
Oh,
Freddie
you're right.
stock,
The
it's
housing
because
is
it
a good
runs with
uh,
it.
housing is a good example, but it's happening
Housing
in many
is
domains.
right. So that's what I'm saying. But you sit there, and what's crazy is it's already hard. So I'm looking at stuff at how hard is it going to be to get a mortgage if there's no Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? How much money does the U.S. government get paid if there's no Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? Who's guaranteeing these bonds if there's no Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? What are the limits on what the corporations can do to borrowers? Understand, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are massive. They are a major underpinning of the market, of the housing market. So if we are allowed, that's what I'm trying to show, Dr. V. It's like the stilts. You pull the stilts out, it's a different ball game.
And
And
then
you
when
got to remember,
eventually it fails for the private guys, guess
yeah,
what happens? The government will come in. The government will
yeah,
come in and bail them out.
yeah, but I know, but I don't want to get to that point because when that happens, everything freezes. And when it freezes, who knows what's going to happen? You don't want to get to that point. We had a freeze over nothing in the Great Recession in 2006 and 2007. Nobody knew what was going on there. Harry, we like you. They didn't handle that right, okay? Now, California, Mike, you're missing. I can't worry about California housing. I'm not talking about a state. Each state's different. You have a good point there. And they got burned up, and we have to feel horrible for the people in LA and for that whole area out there. But I'm just talking generally housing. The people out there, it's going to be a local thing. Who's coming in with the cash? Who had insurance? Who's got the money to rebuild? It's the same thing that happened in Asheville, North Carolina, right? Consider that. That ain't LA. All those people in North Carolina who got handled by the floods that came through, they're still rebuilding. They're just trying to even get started. It's horrible. You
So
can't call it me.
gets
I'm only talking about a
who gets
market.
hurt the most with the fires?
Always the people get hurt the
The
most.
people, the
Of
middle
course.
class, the people who are
Of
not don't have
course.
the money and the power and the resources. Those
Of
are the
course.
people who are going to be hurt the most.
Of
We
course.
have these natural disasters,
Of
and
course.
what happened in California is a natural disaster, but is also, I do want to make a point to some of my MAGA friends that California did mismanage that fire. That California charges a lot of money in taxes,
Harry.
and you expect, well, if you're going to pay taxes to a state or a country, that you have some services from that.
So what?
And it does seem like they're more interested in proving a DEI point than providing services for the people in the state.
So
It's
what?
there's no excuse for not
I
having
don't live there. But let me ask you something. How
uh,
about Texas? They talk about how great Texas is. Houston gets flooded all the time. Houston gets wiped out all the time, right? We pump money in there. Nobody says, "Are you an American citizen?"
well,
They're
I agree with
Americans.
that. Yeah,
Okay. How
you
about
should
the
not be
Texas
any.
Energy?
There should
How
not
about
be
when Texas?
any. Yeah,
How about when the Texas energy crisis, they have these issues?
yeah. No.
Sorry, we stand up as Americans behind all Americans. And yeah, each state did it different. You know what the problem is? The problem is we got climate change. Let's get it
Well,
on, okay?
that's
And
fundamentally
nobody
the problem.
wants
But
to deal
we
with it.
have to
And
use our
you
head.
sit here and say our MAGA friends and about California. I'm not making excuses. There's no states. I mean, Florida's starting to deal with it because of all the hurricanes they're having down there, where they're raising houses and they're doing all this stuff. But the rest of the country's got to wake up and say, we've got real climate change coming on here.
And
And
we
how are we going to get ready for it and protect ourselves?
Yes, yes.
That's the bottom line.
And if we want to confront the MAGA folks, we have to come up with solutions for issues, not just point out where they're not addressing
William,
the
I'll
issue.
never calm
And
down. Go
and
ahead.
and and so we can anticipate that in a state like California, they're going to get fires. We can anticipate in a state like Florida, they're going to get hurricanes. And then you can take some steps to help prevent some of the devastation that occurs.
Wow.
You can put your houses
Right.
up on stilts. You can, uh, you know, uh, when you build the house, don't build it with so many combustible materials. So we got to think forward. We have to use our head to be smart
Right.
about this. And I think
Right.
a lot of people, and part of why Trump got elected, was that the government did fail them. That the government did not address some of these issues, and rather than seeming like they're concerned about the issues, they seem more concerned with the appearance. With that, I heard a quote that someone said, uh, "Our fire department needs to have diversity because when you have a fireman coming to your house, you want them to look like you." I don't care what the person looks like who's coming to my house. I I I don't care if the if the person is white, black, whatever. I want somebody who's competent to put the
That's
fire
jive.
out.
Listen, nobody's. I love you. That's like what did Bill Maher say that the other night? I haven't seen his show yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like standard woke jive. Listen, these people worked hard. Everybody out there, those fire people are incredible, and even that people who are in jail who are out doing it. I mean, these people are putting their lives out in line. Nobody cares what they look like, who they are. If they're willing to do it, you pay them, you say thank you, and you go, "Wow, what a great job." And you go from there. It doesn't matter. It comes back to the same thing. We're all Americans. And
Well,
when we
I
just sit
agree, but
down
you
and just
don't you
say,
don't
we're Americans, we're Americans, we are all the same because we come from the same idea. We spring from the Constitution, we spring from our equal rights, we spring from our past, we spring from that, and we change and we grow and we get better as the years and the generations go on. That's what we are here. And what we're doing is separating. I don't care what the problem in California. I don't care the problem in North Carolina. I do. Don't get me wrong. But you can't deal with each one individually. You got to look at it as one big thing and say, we got an issue here, guys. How are we going to help you with your issues? How are we going to help? Instead of saying, if you don't do it, I'm going to send the bureaucrats after you and I'm going to do this and that. Instead of doing that, you say, how do I work with you to make this happen? And that's what they got to start doing. That's what I think. I just think it's too obvious with climate change. These storms are too gigantic. They're just too gigantic, man. I mean, they're gigantic. And because the other problem is so many people move into areas.
yeah,
So
yeah,
as the
yeah.
country gets
I
bigger,
mean,
a
what do you
100 years
expect
ago,
when a bunch of
right,
people move into a desert? Where are they going to get
right,
their water from? Uh,
exactly. Well,
but people are not thinking ahead. People are
right,
not anticipating. People are just
right,
reacting and
right.
blaming. They're just pointing fingers.
That's my
And
complaint.
so that's my complaint is that people are pointing fingers instead of saying, "What can I do to make
Right.
things better? Let me understand what are the facts here. How
It's
can we
their problem.
anticipate?"
It's
Yeah,
their problem, Dr. V.
and
It's
I think
not me. How many times do we say it's not me? I have no responsibility to try to help. It's them. They blew it. There's
exactly,
something else.
and so I'm going to call out the people on the right who do that,
Call them
but
out.
I'm also going to call out the people on the left who do that.
Call them out. Call them out. Give us thumbs up and subscribe.
when you're
Go ahead.
having a disaster, you don't make excuses. You say, "What can I do to fix things?"
Right.
And you're right. And California was a good example of people from Mexico, firemen from Mexico came to help out. People, I think, Ukraine even offered to send their fighters.
A
So
lot of people
it's
local.
a
I don't
good
know what you're
example of some
saying.
of the
Trump's
best of what
Trump's
America
president. We're
is.
just telling you what we think. Go ahead.
It's a good example of what's best of America when people come together, not to worry
Right.
about whose fault it is, but to address the issue and fix it. So,
Go Ravens, Thomas. I love you, Thomas D. I know Thomas D. He's coming right in, and he believes in love. Look, love sounds like such a jive machine, but it isn't. We got to look at each other and say we're Americans. I'm coming back to it again. My channel is Just an American Citizen. That's been the name of my channel for 11 years. I've made mistakes. I put things on. I pulled it off. I've talked about music. I talked about politics. I talked about everything, but I always talked about America and how great America is and how much I love America and what a great country we have and how we have to look at each other and understand it. It doesn't matter if you dislike Trump or not. You like the American next to you. It doesn't matter if you hate the Bills. Nobody hates the Bills. You're a Ravens fan. Well, they all get along. Let's say the Chiefs. It doesn't matter if everybody hates the Chiefs. It doesn't matter if you're, except the Chiefs. It doesn't matter if you're a Chiefs fan or you're a Ravens fan. We all love it, just kind of love
that's
football
right.
together and can yell at each other, but say we're still one. And that's where we have to go. And we're not doing it because we allow these guys to split us apart. Split us apart. That's been one of my biggest complaints. Look at my videos. I got so many of them saying this. And that's my uncle, not my uncle. He's kind of like my uncle because he kind of like calms me down. And he's look at that face. Is that an uncle face? Is that an uncle face? Okay.
Grandpa face.
That's more an uncle, like an uncle that all the kids can come to talk to Uncle Joe because Uncle Joe will take care. Uncle Joe will talk to him on the side. That's how Uncle Joe does it. Grandpa's different. Uncle Joe is come
That's
to Uncle Joe
true.
for advice.
Sure.
You come to Uncle Joe for advice. So you get good advice too, by the way. I'm his biggest supporter. I'm out there yelling all the time for him because I know how great he is. Either way, I mean, look at that.
You know who's
Is that a
great?
mug?
You
That's
know
a
who's
punum. You
great?
know what a punum is? It's a face. It's a face in Yiddish. And it's a shana punum. It's a pretty face. That's what they say. He's got, there it is, the shana punum. Go ahead, Dr. V.
You know who I'm happy with? I'm happy with the people we have in this discussion in the
I
group
love
chat.
him.
We got
That's
a
great.
good group of people. I
Great.
love you guys. That's
Big,
why we
great.
do this. That's why
That's
we
right.
do
It's
this.
exactly
And
why.
they have some great chat going on, and this is fantastic. So we'll
And,
do it
and
again.
please bring your friends in. Tell
Yeah.
your friends to come on in and see us. I mean, why not? We don't care what you say. And we even give autographs out for free. We don't care what you say, so it doesn't. So it doesn't matter. We just love you. We love bringing it in, and we love going with it. Am I missing? I'm telling you, Fannie and Freddie Mae, I'm worried. Freddie Mae, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I'm very worried. Please, I'm telling you, start watching. You can make comments on Just American Citizen, whatever you want on something like that. So I mean, we got the last thing I'm going to look at, just kind of get ready, is deportation. What's
Mm.
going to happen starting Monday? They said this thing in Chicago. There he is, the Cisco kid. They said it was good. I love him. It's Cisco. Hey, Pancho, adios. What a great show. Either way, I wasn't even alive in 1950. So you sit, God, man, how old are we, Dr. V?
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I was thinking about it. I was
Yeah,
thinking.
so hey, you guys are probably a lot younger than we are. Enjoy every minute because you get
Enjoy.
old. At least you can look back on it and laugh and go, yeah, God, we're old. But it's like just craziness. Either way, we just love. That's half the fun about this stuff. We've seen so much of this. Its cycles are the real. History rhymes. It just does. You just see things over and not the same, but they rhyme over and over and over again. And you just go, oh my gosh. Just like this, I'm telling you, go into Just American Citizen. Look at my stuff there where I kept saying American Century was over years ago because it was just too obvious it's happening. Didn't matter who the president was. It just happened. Cycles come in, things start coming together, and they start going on. Either way, that's that. And there. So let me ask you, Dr. V, before I get to the album of the week, is there anything you got anything on your mind about here? Anything specifically? You want to sing the Fly Eagles Fly song? Why don't you sing it for everybody? Eagles song. You couldn't wear your sweatshirt in.
I'll just do the cheer.
Let me hear it.
Yeah, so everybody out there, EAGLES Eagles.
That's nothing. That's pretty weak.
That's weak. That's not going to
What's
do
the
it done.
Fly Eagles? When I go to the Eagle games, I hear Fly Eagles Fly. What's that song I hear? Sing that
Fly,
song.
Eagles, fly
There
on
you
the road
go.
to victory. Fight, fight, fight. We'll be hearing that a lot today.
You're
And
going to be hearing
and
that. People
if
started hanging up on us as soon as you started singing. I loved it.
what happened to all our viewers just left? Oh, darn.
Goodbye. A chunk of them. Either way, and you know how I feel about the Ravens. I say right, they came back when they heard you weren't singing anymore. I say, so I'm not going to sing. I love the Ravens. We're going for the Ravens. Here's our album of the week. One of the greatest groups
Oh,
of
the
all time.
Ramones.
The Ramones. Now, this is Road to Ruin, not Rocket to Russia, because this has my favorite Ramones song on it. Now, understand what's great about the Ramones is we show you these albums where we say, listen to the side and get it because one leads to the other. The Ramones are our greatest hits group. Every song is 2 3 minutes. Great hit, great hit, great hit, great, just great song. One of the greatest garage bands, one of the greatest new wave bands came in. It was late 70s, and they just blew out. I wish I'd seen them. I never did. This album, I mean, rock and roll, rock and roll high school, but this album has a song that I think that our community will understand why it's my favorite song by the Ramones, Dr. V. You ready?
Go ahead.
I want to be sedated. God, I love that song. There he goes. He knows. What a great song. Also, on here, they got needles and pins. They just got some bad brain
The
on here.
Pins is good.
Oh, that's their
That's
version's good. And Go Mental. God, I love this app. Let me tell you, you go to the Ramones, you get the greatest hits. You don't have to live. You can listen for 10 minutes. You can listen for 20 minutes. It's not like an album, we always tell you. Listen to how it all got laid out at the beginning. It's song after song. And you just start with I Want to Be Sedated. You start thinking, how does Dr. V put up with Mark? And then you go, because this is the song he sings to him all the time. And he's got the right to take care of it for us and go for it. Check. What does that have to do with Jewish? The Ramones are Jewish. I don't know. I didn't hear him sing the Shema. I didn't hear any of that. Okay. Hip hop wasn't happening when I owned hip hop, Spartacus. I don't know hip hop that well. You let me know. I'm only on my stuff. I'm
we
not
need
sure.
Spartacus to help us out
You'll
to
have to
bring us
help
to
us
the
with that because I don't know a
21st
hip hop
century.
album. Right. I don't know a hip hop album. Oh, the only hip hop I knew that I really liked, I'm going to hit you with something next week. Thank you, Spartacus. I don't have the album, but I'm going to surprise you with something that I really like. There was hip hop, a little bit of rap at the same time, and rock. Does that give you an idea what it is? Okay, I got that for you. We're doing that next week. Spartacus, I love you. Everybody got me thinking. Everybody, thank you so very much. Listen to the Ramones. You want to be sedated? You want to get crazy? Is it snowing out yet?
It's snowing. Okay,
Get ready
guys.
for
It's
this.
snowing in Philly. It
Eagles in
started.
the
It
Eagles
started.
in the snow, baby. Ravens
Barkley.
freezing in the
Barkley.
Bills.
Barkley's
What?
going to run wild today.
I hope Barkley and the King, hopefully, and
And the
Lamar.
king. Yeah, put that in your daily lineups,
Right.
guys.
So please give us thumbs up. Please check our Just American Citizens subscribe and Dr. V presents Joe, right?
Hawks.
Presents Joe Talks. I keep trying to remember the presents. I forget everything else. And do that. We'll see you next week unless something big happens. Don't get too, get psyched about Monday. It should be interesting. I'm not going to watch. I'm going to listen to music, and then
Yeah.
I'm going to watch the
The
news
college
afterwards.
national football game that day.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I watch the news after hear what everybody has. That night, I'm going to watch Fox, MSNBC, and NBC and CNN after the inauguration. Hear what they all have to say. It's going to be interesting. You're going to think you're in a different country listening to each of those three, but it starts with Laura Ingraham. Okay, what can I tell you? Not my favorite. Either way, that's who he is. We love you. We love every one of you. Thank you so very, very much. And drug me local if you like lots of narcotics. We at least are legal marijuana here in Maryland. Feel free to drop one in. You can buy all you want. Local, we love you. See y'all later. And that's the way it is.
Period.
Period. Thanks again.